Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. And I don't know if you can tell by the tone of my voice, but I am a little tired. I might be getting a little sick, probably because of the major switch of the seasons, but that is not going to stop me from filming my weekly show right here on YouTube.com. This, of course, is the Lightning Flash update. You already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best stand Twitter handle known to mankind. Welcome once again to the Lightning Flash update, and we are going to do something a little bit out of the norm of the Lightning Flash update, and we are going to start the show with the news, rumors, and reports, because I have a lot of news, rumors, and reports concerning Survivor Series weekend and some major plans from multiple credible sources that could impact the show itself. And then, of course, I will go over all of the weekly shows and the main segments and matches that happened on all the shows. So, starting off the news, rumors, and reports section of the video, we have a report from PW Insider. So a new report shows that the promotional spots for Survivor Series will use an old pay-per-view name to push the inter-brand feuds. PW Insider reported that WWE is bringing back the name Bragging Rights. Bragging Rights was, of course, the pay-per-view, which ran from 2009 to 2010, built for inter-brand matches. They have not started to use Bragging Rights yet. I'm assuming they're going to start using them maybe next week or 2 weeks before Survivor Series, because essentially Survivor Series is morphing into Bragging Rights in some type of twisted way. Twisted way. That's how tired I am. Some type of twisted way. But if they are going to really push this as a... what's the word that I'm looking for? If they're really going to push this as a big deal, then... okay, if they want to use bragging rights, this isn't really that big of a deal. I mean, at least in my eyes. I mean, people are going to watch Survivor Series regardless. Moving on, here we got another report from PW Insider. The UK series that has been planned for more than a year now is being looked at as a broadcast TV show as well as a WWE Network program. According to PW Insider, WWE officials have decided to go with the name King of the Ring for the time being, but there is no word yet on when the show might air. I'm actually all for this. This actually sounds like a really innovative name, especially for a UK show. Even though King of the Ring used to be a pay-per-view, I don't mind it being a UK weekly show on the WWE Network. I don't mind it at all. And we're going to do something I haven't done in a very long time. I'm going to give my shout-out to Mr. Slice Wrestling. Of course, follow him at Slice Wrestling. He is taking a break until December. I believe he's coming back after Christmas. And I would actually like to send out a special thank you to Slice Wrestling. You are a big influence on the news, rumors, and reports section that I do on the Lightning Flash update. And you have provided a lot of credible news, rumors, reports, anything, you name it. And a lot of them have come true. Hashtag Slice knows. And I look forward to catching more reports after Christmas. So, he reported that Samoa Joe is now cleared to wrestle and is currently on standby to return to WWE programming shortly. That was his tweet. I believe he tweeted on Tuesday. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm actually very excited to see Samoa Joe back. If anything, Samoa Joe, he could possibly be the captain of Team Raw at Survivor Series. He could possibly be the one to lead Team Raw into victory at Survivor Series. I'm very much looking forward to Samoa Joe's return to WWE programming. And one of the tweets that he tweeted, I believe it was before Monday. Yeah, I believe it was Sunday. I believe it was Sunday afternoon before TLC went on the air, and he tweeted, WWE has discussed Alexa Bliss versus Natalya to take place at Survivor Series, and sure enough, that came true. Natalya and Alexa Bliss will face off at Survivor Series, as well as The Miz and Baron Corbin. The tag team champions of SmackDown, the Usos, and the tag team champions of Raw, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. And of course, we all know the worst match in WWE history is going to take place at Survivor Series when Jinder Mahal battles Brock Lesnar. It is going to be a squash match of epic proportions. Moving on from a disaster to an even greater disaster. According to Dave Meltzer, WWE is planning on adding a special guest referee to the Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal match at Survivor Series. And guess who's in top contention? Mr. Movie Star himself, John Cena. And the reason for this is because WWE is planning on Cena to feud with Jinder Mahal after Cena returns, possibly at the Royal Rumble. Possibly they're going to give Cena that 17th World Championship win. He's going to break Ric Flair's record. Possibly he might retire in 2018. I really don't want to see this. I really do not want to see John Cena as WWE Champion, nor do I want to see Jinder Mahal as WWE Champion. If anything, what I would do, I would have AJ Styles. If they really want to go through with Jinder Mahal going into their Indian tour in December as WWE Champion, then I will be probably the most generous person on the planet right now, and I will let you have that on one condition. The only way that I would allow WWE to have Jinder Mahal go into their Indian tour as WWE Champion is if at Clash of Champions on December 17th, which is the only pay-per-view in December, and it is going to be a SmackDown Live exclusive pay-per-view, only at that pay-per-view will AJ Styles take the WWE Championship from Jinder Mahal, carry it all the way into WrestleMania to face Nakamura. That's the only way I will allow Jinder Mahal to hold the title going into the Indian tour. I'm still terrified at the thought that Jinder Mahal could possibly beat Brock Lesnar, since they want to make him look strong going into the Indian tour. Anyway, moving on from disaster to actual exciting news. And the actual exciting news that I have is that the entire NXT TakeOver card has been leaked. A lot of you may already know this, but I never had a chance to report this on the prior Lightning Flash updates because I either had to do college work, there was too many news, rumors, and reports, or I didn't feel like doing it because the pay-per-views left a bad taste inside my mouth. And the card reads as follows. We have, of course, the main event is going to be the War Games match between Sanity, the Undisputed Era, and the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong. And I am unaware if this is going to be for the NXT Tag Team Championships or not. I would actually like to see it take place for the NXT Tag Team Championships. I think it would really boost the prestige of the NXT Tag Team titles. Not that I don't think the NXT titles are already prestigious as they are. But if Sanity was to go in and defeat the Undisputed Era, defeat the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong, and they walk out still NXT Tag Team Champions, they're gonna look like beasts. I mean, Killian Dane, he's a legit beast in his own right, but he's going to end up looking even more beastly, as well as Alexander Wolf and Eric Young. Moving on here, we also got the NXT title match between Andrade Cien Almas and Drew McIntyre. The Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Women's title, consisting of Ember Moon, Peyton Royce, Nikki Cross, and of course Mae Young Classic winner Kairi Sane. Cassius Ohno versus Lars Sullivan, that should be a Clash of the Titans. And of course Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream, and I'm going to go over what happened this week on NXT with Aleister Black and the Velveteen Dream. Moving on, Cage Side Seats reported that Raw likely will not retaliate until the Survivor Series Go Home show on November 14th in Charlotte, North Carolina against SmackDown Live. I am very much for this. Because whether you want to admit it or not, when SmackDown Live held the Under Siege of Raw, they literally handed Raw their asses. They went backstage and they attacked anything that moved. And then they dragged the general manager out to the ring, and Shane McMahon said, "Bring your gold medal, the rest of your Raw roster, and we are going to destroy you at Survivor Series." Oh, it's true. It's damn true. From a situation like that, you want to give Raw some time. Let that fester. Let that sink in. Let Raw plan and plot, or play it off that they're planning and they're plotting. And then, on the go-home show, have them retaliate against SmackDown and take over the whole damn show. That would be very good. I am all for this. And the final report that I have for the day, Aiden English and Rusev are expected to start working as an official tag team per Wrestling Observer newsletter. You could go either way with this. So could I. I mean, for me, I don't really want to see this happen, mainly because I really want Rusev to succeed as a singles competitor. Aiden English, yeah, he's a fantastic singer, but what does he really bring to the table? I mean, I could be wrong. If Rusev and Aiden English are to start working as a legitimate tag team, okay, I'll let it run, see how it goes. Maybe they might win the tag team titles. Maybe I could be proven wrong. Especially since the Hype Bros are going to get broken up. Breezango and the Ascension are off doing Fashion Dogs, which was fantastic, by the way. So, we'll see how that plays out. And now, let's get into the weekly show reviews, shall we? So, Kurt Angle started the show, and he announced a slew of Survivor Series matches. We had the Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss taking on the SmackDown Women's Champion Natalya. Raw Tag Team Champions The Shield taking on SmackDown Tag Team Champions The Usos. Intercontinental Champion The Miz taking on U.S. Champion Baron Corbin. And of course, like I stated before, Mahal and Lesnar. Not really going to say too much about that. Miz then came out and started ranting about how Kurt Angle just wanted the spotlight at TLC. And listen, you guys know how I feel about The Miz, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because in this segment, The Miz has been getting his ass handed to him. Every single major star that has crossed paths with The Miz, ever since he came to Monday Night Raw, literally has been handing his ass to him. Monday Night Raw is doing The Miz no good. Especially as Intercontinental Champion. I really, 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 really hope that they get the Intercontinental title off The Miz somehow. I would actually like to see Finn Balor win the Intercontinental Championship. He faces Corbin, because we were actually robbed of that match in NXT. I think that would have been a fantastic match in NXT. And Miz can go to Team Raw. Anyway, this led to a 6-man tag team match after the Shield made the save of Kurt Angle as Miz, Curtis Axel, and The Bar were about to attack Kurt Angle. And AJ Styles came out. Kurt Angle said SmackDown lent AJ Styles to Raw for an extra night. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins teamed with AJ Styles to defeat The Miz, Sheamus, and Cesaro. And then afterwards, Kane attacked, took out everybody with the assist of The Miz and his posse. Kane then called out Strowman. He called him trash. He said he is the one true monster. And he disposed Strowman into the garbage can. And that was it. He hopes he never hears from Strowman again, I'm assuming. And Kane said he wanted more competition. And then Kane defeated Finn Balor. That was not a typo, by the way. Kane defeated Finn Balor. So Finn Balor, the Demon King, walks into TLC. He has the match of the night with AJ Styles. And then, the following night, he loses to a man who is currently running for mayor of a state. Might I remind you that Finn Balor is rumored to be Brock Lesnar's next opponent at the Royal Rumble of 2018. Vince McMahon, who in the blue hell do you think you are? What in your right mind are you doing? You let a guy who defeated, without a doubt, the single most greatest athlete, or excuse me, it's a little bit of improper grammar there. The single most talented athlete in the world, as it regards to professional wrestling. He defeated him in a match of the year candidate. And then, you have that same man who defeated AJ Styles lose to a man who brings no relevance to Monday Night Raw. No relevance whatsoever. And somehow Vince McMahon approves this. Yeah, you want to build Kane up to make Strowman look even stronger. Strowman is at his peak. If anything, Strowman should have been Universal Champion. If anything, Strowman should be the one competing in the champion versus champion match, and Nakamura should be the WWE Champion. That would be a fantastic match. No, but instead you're putting Strowman in a feud with Kane, who is running for mayor of Tennessee, and then after Survivor Series, which I'm assuming this is where the match is going to take place, after Survivor Series, that's it. Kane just goes back right to running for mayor. Really doesn't make any sense, but I'm not going to rant too much about that because I want to save my voice. I want to save my voice mainly because, like I said, I'm getting a little sick and my throat is a little scratchy. Then we had Asuka defeat Emma in a rematch from TLC. Wasn't too bad, but Asuka is continuing her road of dominance on Monday Night Raw. Alexa Bliss addressed the WWE Universe, stated that AJ Styles and Finn Balor could stare at each other for 10 minutes and the universe could chant, "This is awesome." And then Alexa Bliss stated that you are all going to chant, "You deserve it," like the sheep you are. Mickie James then came out, delivered a Mickey DT, and stated, "Alexa, you do deserve that." So, does this mean that Mickie James is getting a rematch against Alexa Bliss? And Mickie James is going to win the Raw Women's Championship? I actually hope so. I would be okay with one of two things. I would either be okay with either Mickie James defeating Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship, or Charlotte beating Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Either way, it has to be a face versus heel. Heel versus heel matches are terrible unless you're Sanity and the Authors of Pain. That match was fantastic. And then Elias came out to sing his song. He had some technical difficulties. I'm assuming Jason Jordan was behind that. Jason Jordan then won via DQ after Elias literally clobbered him. It looked brutal. I mean, it would put all of the teams that qualified for the World Series playoffs to shame. He just winded up and boom! Right to the shoulder of Jason Jordan. I'm telling you, I know that there have been a lot of superstars to hit people over the head and the shoulder, anywhere with the guitar, but there's something about Elias. He just puts some extra impact, some extra velocity on that. Moving on, Lesnar responded to Mahal. Well, Paul Heyman responded to Mahal. And without a doubt, one of my favorite segments of the year. And he's going, yeah, Brock Lesnar, he's had all these opponents, and I've always praised his opponents, like Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman. But Jinder Mahal, the make-believe he goes Maharaja, and he's shaking his head back and forth, and his neck fat shaking with him. And I'm sitting there, I was nearly crying. He's going, Maharaja, and then he goes with the sing-along, brothers, doing my shtick. I was dead ass laughing at that point. That was, Paul Heyman, without a doubt, is the best promo cutter in the history of WWE. He basically stated that Mahal is no threat. He is not even a pretender or a champion. And you are going to Suplex City, Jinder Mahal, at Survivor Series. The challenge has been accepted, unfortunately. And then later in the night, Team Lucha defeated the Zo Train. Enzo Amore, he lost his voice. He lost his voice during the, I don't know why he lost his voice or how he lost his voice. He must have lost it over the weekend. And when they all spelled out SAWFT soft, the way that Enzo, he took the mic, he just went, T! Just dropped the mic. I thought that was pretty funny. And anyway, Team Lucha, the team of Gran Metalik, Kalisto, Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander, and Rich Swann, defeated Enzo, Gulak, Noam Dar, Tony Nese, and Arya Daivari. And then in the main event, Kurt Angle announced, or was going to announce, the Survivor Series competitors for the 5-on-5 men's and women's match. Shane McMahon and the SmackDown Live roster came out of the crowd. Shane McMahon just stated, under siege, go get him. And like I said before, in the news, rumors, and report section, they just beat up anything that moved. That was a pretty good ending to Raw, I'm not going to lie. But the main points of this match were the 6-man tag team match, Lesnar accepting the challenge, and the Under Siege of Raw. Moving on to SmackDown Live. Shane McMahon kicked us off. He talked about the Under Siege, and as he was talking about it, Sami Zayn came out. Sami Zayn was then, talking about how you need us on Team SmackDown. You need me and Kevin. We're going to lead your team to victory. And then Shane said, I don't want you on Team SmackDown, nor do I need you on Team SmackDown. But I'm going to give you an opportunity to earn a place on Team SmackDown. And he made a match between Sami Zayn and Randy Orton in the main event, which was very good. Then, on the following segment, or match, I should say, Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable defeated the New Day. It was a decent tag team match. Of course, Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable, they need to continue building momentum into their eventual tag team championship match against the Usos. Could we possibly see Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin defeat the Usos before Survivor Series? I really wouldn't count on it. I think it should take place at Clash of Champions. Next up, we had Fashion Dogs. Ellsworth. Do you know what a washing machine is? Obviously not. Jesus, Ellsworth. He's shitting in his underwear. Highly unsanitary, Ellsworth. Anyway, the Ascension then ended up solving the case for Breezango. Stated that it's the Bludgeon Brothers. And Tyler Breeze, like the genius that he is, he goes, there's no B in brothers. Connor goes, Bludgeon Brothers. That is 2 B's. And then all of a sudden Tyler goes, oh, the B is silent. And I'm sitting there. I was actually eating a protein bar while watching it. I almost choked on my protein bar because it was that funny. And then in the end, we found out that stranger things are happening next week on SmackDown Live. Yet again, another fantastic Fashion Files spinoff. It never gets old. Moving on, Sin Cara then defeated Baron Corbin via disqualification after Corbin continuously pounded away on Sin Cara in the corner. Ref counted to 5, and that was it. And then Baron Corbin delivered an end of days on the floor. I am going to say that I actually like that they are starting to push someone who has not been pushed in a very long time. I like that Sin Cara is actually being used on SmackDown Live, and he's not just going to be a simple pushover. And Sin Cara, might I add, he is very underrated. He actually had a lot of offense in this match before Baron Corbin ended up getting himself disqualified. So I assume that a United States Championship match is possibly going to take place between him and Sin Cara. Maybe next week. Maybe the week after. But one way or another, Sin Cara is getting a United States Championship match. And if anything, I would actually have Sin Cara beat Baron Corbin for the time being and face off against The Miz. I think they could put on a very good match. Although I would prefer Miz to lose the Intercontinental Championship first, because I actually like Baron Corbin as U.S. Champion. Either way, it has to be a face versus heel in the champion versus champion match at Survivor Series. Jinder Mahal then came out before the match between Sunil Singh and AJ Styles. He basically stated that he is Lesnar's worst nightmare and he's going to beat Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. AJ Styles defeated Sunil Singh in a minute. And then afterwards, Jinder Mahal complained to Daniel Bryan. And next week, Samir Singh is going to face AJ Styles and ultimately get his ass kicked. Becky Lynch then won a fatal 5-way between herself, Tamina, Charlotte, Naomi, and what was it again? I don't know. It's like some of the people on the SmackDown Live women's roster, they're very forgetful. The women's roster is very forgetful. And Miss Money in the Bank Carmella. My apologies. She won. She's going to be team captain, looking for some redemption against Raw from last year. The Bludgeon Brothers, fear nothing. And Destruction is going to be following the Bludgeon Brothers when they debut. Don't know when they're going to debut. I actually hope they debut very soon. And then in the final segment before the main event, Rude and Ziggler confirmed that next week it is going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match between the two, with the winner being added to Team SmackDown. I apologize for my dog, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to 205, or excuse me, I almost skipped over the main event. My apologies. And in the main event, Randy Orton defeated Sami Zayn after Orton low-blowed him and then hit the RKO. Kevin tried to interfere, to no avail. Moving on to 205 Live, Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander defeated Noam Dar and Tony Nese in a very good tag team match. I tweeted that Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander are gold as a tag team. They work very well together. And next week, apparently, Jack Gallagher is going to face off against Rich Swann. Brian Kendrick also wants Alexander to join them, since Brian Kendrick saw that intensity and aggressiveness that Cedric Alexander possesses. Moving on to my favorite portion of 205 Live, Drew Gulak went back to slide 1 of his PowerPoint presentation. God, I love that PowerPoint presentation. The PowerPoint presentation, without a doubt, that is the most creative thing that they got on 205 Live right now. And then this resulted in Drew Gulak defeating Grand Metalik with a Dragon Sleeper. Grand Metalik, he actually had a lot of offense, and throughout the entire match, every time Grand Metalik did a dive, did a flip, did a roll, dove off the top rope, dove off the middle rope, you heard Nigel McGuinness saying, he's breaking the rules. Oh, that's slide number 2. He's breaking slide number 7. Every single time Grand Metalik did a move, Nigel McGuinness said that Grand Metalik was breaking the rules. And Drew Gulak was actually going to break Metalik's leg right on his picket sign that said no chance. And Tozawa returned. And apparently, my guess, we're probably going to get Drew Gulak versus Tozawa next week on 205 Live. I would be okay with that. And again, I apologize for my dog. She is uncontrollable. Moving on. Show must go on, people. Moving on to the main event, which was Enzo versus Kalisto for the Cruiserweight title. Enzo ended up kicking the ref, and Kalisto won via DQ. The best part of this match was the fact that Kalisto did a windmill rolling senton, and I think Nigel McGuinness called it the Lucha Driver. He did a windmill rolling senton right on the apron. That was a beautiful spot right there, and Kalisto then landed on the floor on his feet. I'm assuming Enzo is going to end up defending the title against Kalisto again at a later date. Maybe at Survivor Series. I don't know. Finally, on to NXT. The show kicked off with Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli defeating Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. And I really like their finisher. It's very innovative, something I've never seen before. A gory bomb bulldog, with Riddick Moss being the one to execute the gory bomb and Tino Sabatelli executing the bulldog. And I'm guessing that they're going to be built up as the next top-tier heel tag team. Of course, right behind the Undisputed Era, since the Authors of Pain are going to get called up after NXT TakeOver Houston, my guess. Later, Nikki Cross then defeated all of the Mae Young Classic winners, along with Billie Kay, to qualify for the fatal four-way match for the NXT Women's title at TakeOver Brooklyn. Or excuse me, at TakeOver Houston. I'm still thinking about Brooklyn. I'm sorry. It was a damn good show. I'm sorry. And it was announced by William Regal to start off the show that the AOP will face off against Sanity for the NXT Tag Team titles next week. And moving on from the Battle Royal, McIntyre had a confrontation with Zelina Vega. And Zelina Vega stated that, "You're still ducking Andrade Cien Almas. Why are you ducking him?" McIntyre said, No. I told you to tell Almas to look me in the eyes and ask me for a championship match at NXT TakeOver Houston." And then Zelina Vega, playing the cocky heel manager that she is. McIntyre walked away, Zelina Vega. No, I didn't come here to talk to you interviewers, as she walked away. Later on in the show, or in the next segment rather, the Velveteen Dream attacked Aleister Black. And I really enjoyed this little segment. So Aleister Black did his entrance, and the Velveteen Dream came up out of nowhere as if he was The Undertaker in his WrestleMania 25 entrance. Remember the Undertaker versus Michaels at WrestleMania 25 when Undertaker rose from the depths of hell? That's what Velveteen Dream was like. He tied Aleister Black up in the ropes, repeatedly smacking him in the face, telling him to say his name. And Aleister Black then ended up hitting a big boot on the Velveteen Dream and almost hitting Black Mass. This is obviously going to result in a match at NXT TakeOver Houston, like I reported, because it has been leaked. And I really think that this right here, this match, could really be a little hidden gem. If they kick off the show with this match could possibly steal the show other than War Games. I'm just saying. And then in the main event, Andrade Cien Almas defeated Roderick Strong. And Roderick Strong, he hit a wrecking ball dropkick near the end of the match. He tossed Andrade back into the ring. Meanwhile, the ref didn't notice that Zelina Vega, she was on the apron. So Andrade was tossed back into the ring. The ref was checking on Almas to make sure Almas was okay. And Zelina Vega, with heels on, with heel boots, might I add, jumped off the apron and Hurricane Rana'd Roderick Strong into the steel steps. And then got right back up, quick as a cat. And then Andrade Cien Almas hit La Sombra, or that hammerlock DDT that he likes to call. And next week, it was confirmed by Zelina Vega and Almas that next week, Almas will meet Drew face-to-face in the middle of the ring, and Andrade will ask for the NXT title match. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every one of you who tuned into this video live. You are amazing. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram at DDog316. Do not forget to follow me on Twitter at #1WWE Fan. Do not forget to give a huge purple Rainmaker elbow to that notifications bell so you can find out each and every time I pop up on YouTube with a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update, and I will catch you guys next week. Have a great weekend.